Welcome back to So You Think You Can Breed Dogs, the podcast where we go behind the scenes with the breeders shaping the future of our favorite four-legged friends. On today's episode, we are sitting down with the fabulous Ashley and the Pups, or at Wally Farms on TikTok. Now let's be honest for a second, we all know the common stereotypes out there. People love to label Chihuahuas as snappy, nervous, and aggressive. But Ashley is on a mission to completely shatter that reputation. Ashley is a fiercely passionate breeder who is dedicating her life to reforming the breed's image by focusing heavily on stellar temperaments, proper socialization, and raising incredibly sweet-natured pups. If you think you know Chihuahuas, prepare to have your mind completely changed. Turn up the volume, grab a coffee, and let's dive into our chat with Ashley and the Pups.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing good. Thank you very much for, pushing this back an hour later than you normally do. I, got a lot of dogs to take care of and they come first, so.
Yeah, no problem. You're on Pacific time, right?
Central.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's 7 o'clock for me now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, so you breed Chihuahuas.
I do, yes. Chihuahuas.
Are they long-haired and smooth-coated?
Yeah, so the Chihuahua is one breed with two varieties, one variety being smooth coat, one variety being long coat. You might touch on this later, but that means there is no such thing as a deer head Chihuahua or an apple head Chihuahua or a teacup Chihuahua. It is just smooth and long.
Okay, gotcha. So can you tell me a little bit about the breed and how you got into breeding them?
Yeah, so funny enough, growing up, I actually really didn't like Chihuahuas at all. I wanted to grow up and be a pit bull rescuer. And I do have a rescue pit bull, so my dreams weren't, completely crushed. But I do like fosters and stuff, but y'all are hear about my Chihuahuas. So I was in college and I did what all college kids do. And I didn't do any research and didn't look into anything at all and was just completely crazy and found some dogs on Facebook, which is where I rescued my pit bull from. And then once again, I was a young, crazy person and I was like, he needs a friend, But I lived in a 650 square foot apartment and I was like, okay, cool. Like what is relatively cheap for a college girl and what can I fit in my 650 square foot apartment? A Chihuahua, right? Well, so that is how I got Pip, and he's actually right here on my desk. I'll show him to you. Come here, Bubby. I work from home, so I have a little bed on my desk. So I got Pip.
Hi, Pip.
And Pip is the biggest genetic dumpster fire you have ever met in your life. I love him. I would literally sell my firstborn child to keep this dog alive for the rest of my life. He is my heart and soul. Well, he has hip dysplasia. I've repaired both of his patellas. He has really, really bad curvature in his spine. So now we have a suspicion of IVDD. His little legs are completely crooked and sideways. The only good thing about him is the fact that he has the most beautiful temperament ever. Well, I went to PetSmart one day with him and I was so excited because I had my pretty little Chihuahua and I ran into this old lady holding a long coat Chihuahua. And I was like, what is that? I've never seen this before in my life. And she was telling me it was a Chihuahua and that it was so cool. And I was like, oh my God, I have a Chihuahua. He's the best thing ever. And basically she looked me in the eyes, looked at Pip and was like, that is the ugliest dog I've ever seen. So I said, okay. So that is what kind of made me start learning about ethical Chihuahuas and what a Chihuahua is supposed to look like. And then I really didn't want to breed or get into any of that until he started having his problems. And to me, these dogs live 18 plus years. It's really, I'm going to get a little cryy about it because I really do love this dog and he's the whole reason I did any of this stuff. But it's so important to me that dogs that live this long deserve to not be in pain. He started Librela at 3 years old. There's no reason a dog should be bred like this. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to do it at least the right way is to try it.
Yeah.
And so for me, all I could see around me were, dogs that didn't have a good temperament. They were mean. They were aggressive. They were people that just hated Chihuahuas like I did growing up, and getting to experience how fantastic he was really made me want to, kind of try my hand at it and see if I'm able to do a little better and put a good pet in somebody's home that can be healthy and happy and do all of the things, because they're a companion breed. They're supposed to companion with you everywhere, like if your dog's not built to last that long or built to do the things you want to do with them, then it's not fair. And so I wanted to do that. I'm really nervous. I ramble when I'm nervous. So
you're good. How old is he?
He is going to turn 6 in August.
Okay. So
he's a baby.
How long have you been breeding?
I had my first litter in 2022, I think. And I've only had 4 litters so far. Yeah, I had my singleton puppy, I had 2 regular litters, and then another single. Yeah, I've had 4 litters.
Okay. And because I noticed that Pip is Merle, I have, that's like very controversial. I feel like Chihuahuas being Merle. Like I know that AKC accepts it, but like when you Google, do Chihuahuas naturally come in Merle? Google says no. So like, what's up with that?
So the AKC right now is currently the only registry that actually accepts Merle. Historically, our standard has always said any color, solid, marked, or splashed. The very first kennel club to disqualify Merle was actually Canada. There was a woman up there, and I'm getting this information from the historian of the AKC, for the Travel Club of America. She says that Canada was actually the first club to ban Merle. And it was a woman named Edna who like super hated Merles for some reason. And so she kind of pinpointed this whole group against Merles, and they got rid of it first. And then the parent, like the parent foundation in Mexico got rid of it after that. And so it's kind of spiraled from there, where people started getting rid of Merle, but there has been Merle in our breed for a very long time. Chihuahuas are considered what's called a landrace breed. So similar to a Xoloitzcuintli Queently. They came from like a similar area, Aztecs, like that's where Chihuahuas came from. And so they kind of bred on the streets and they interbred, and there's a suspicion that the Merle was originally introduced from English herding dogs that were brought into Mexico like way, way, way back in the day when they were all kind of interbreeding in the streets. And then once, we started selectively breeding smaller and smaller and smaller, they became the Chihuahua that we see today. But there is some controversy to it, of course. I have not bred Merle. I am never going to say I wouldn't, because we have Merles that are, winning championships. We have Merles that are in the top 30 of our breed. We are doing it. So that's kind of my take on it. It's one of those, like, I don't do it, but I don't really have a strong opinion on it because it is accepted in the AKC.
Okay. So you said that they're a companion breed. Has that always been their purpose?
Yes. So they've always, like, as a, AKC registered breed, they've always been a companion breed. They're in the toy group. Way back in the day, there was suspicion that they were sacrificed for, like rituals and stuff. There's stories that you can read. I mean, Chihuahuas are very, very old. So there's stories you can read where they say, when people would pass away, Chihuahuas would guide your soul into the afterlife. And so people would kill a Chihuahua and like bury it with them. And, and then there's people that say that they were sacrificed for food. They're not that big, but people eat guinea pigs and they're not that big either. So like, who knows,
Mm-hmm.
But they've always just been a companion breed.
Okay. And what is their temperament supposed to be like?
Saucy.
Okay.
So saucy is one of it. Our, actually I can call it directly from the standard over here. So our general appearance is a graceful, alert, swift moving, compact little dog with saucy expression and terrier-like qualities of temperament. So the terrier-like tends to be where they can get in trouble sometimes. But they're not supposed to be mean. Like, they're not supposed to be aggressive by any means. But they can be sharper. They can sometimes be a dog that, likes one or two people, but isn't super fans of everyone. I happen to have golden retriever Chihuahuas. And they love everyone and everything. And then some of them are like a little more, but they're really fantastic. They're supposed to be super confident. Chihuahuas are not supposed to be scared. They're supposed to own the ground that they stand on and pretend like they're a big dog. One of my bred buys, her name is Grits. She's off of the like a little junior handler right now that I'm good friends with. And she lives in a house full of Beaucerons. And she has no idea that she is a Chihuahua, and she thinks she's the biggest, baddest thing that there is in the world. And that's most of how mine are.
I love that. Yeah, I have a little Chihuahua mix. He's like Chihuahua, Pomeranian, Shih Tzu, and he runs this fucking house. Absolutely. And he lives with all big dogs. All big dogs. He's a little dog. Yeah.
That's how mine are. I have my pit bull here, and then a lot of my friends that I started showing with, bred Akitas. They had Whippets. They had, much larger dogs. They've been around Corsos. They've been around, I don't baby my dogs. I tend to treat them just like they're anybody else. And so they've been around ginormous dogs, and they don't care at all. Team Red, she's in the comments. She shows with Riley a lot, and they've had Grits. They've been showing her since September. They helped me finish Kelpie. Right now they have Versace. She needs three points to finish, I think. She's got 11 points and 3 majors. I think she needs 4 points. And they show big dogs. She has this giant mastiff named Tantor, and apparently they're all like besties. So it's pretty funny.
Love that. Okay, so you mentioned Kelpie. She's 5 years old?
Yes.
And has she not had a litter?
Yes. So she had she's had 2 litters for me. The first one that she had, I bred her to a Grand Champion bronze male who was imported from Canada. And he lived in New York at the time. So I had him shipped down to Georgia. I drove up to get him. And he stayed with me for about 8 months. I'm really picky about kind of understanding the temperaments, because a lot of times, so I like to Chihuahuas are the wild, wild west, right? So a lot of the stuff with Chihuahuas that bigger breeders or other breeds consider to be like common knowledge is stuff that we're still implementing. So a lot of our health testings and things like that, and a lot of the stuff that I care about temperament wise is considered new school. And so when I was picking her first pairing, I was really picky about, I wanted there to be OFAs on the dog, and I wanted to be able to put my hands on him and live with him for a while, because I wanted to see how the temperament is. I don't want a dog that's going to be a little ankle biter. Mm-hmm. And so he actually stayed with me for 8 months. And he lived with me for 8 months while I was able to kind of, get to know him a little bit and things like that. And so she had that litter with me that she free whelped, and we got 2 boys. One is in a pet home. His name was Broccoli, and now it's Jonas. And then Cabbage, I kept back in a co-owned home, and he went to his very first show. He turned 6 months old, and he went to a show that day, and he got a 4-point major. And then his bite went off, so we're gonna neuter him. And so we didn't end up keeping anything from that litter.
Okay.
And then this last litter she gave me a little singleton girl. Her name is Baby, but we call her Pups. Somebody that is frequently in my comments always would comment Pubby on her stuff, and somehow it just stuck. So she has no idea that her name is Baby. She thinks her name is Pups.
I like Pups better.
I do too. It's hilarious. She loves it. But she's lovely. She's been to a few shows. She went to the National in October when she was like 3 months old. She was itty bitty little thing. And had a good time and a great time. But so those are the ones I've had from her. I want to repeat the litter that we got Pups from because the temperament on that dog is just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I've had litters before where like, some of them have been really sweet and confident, but like maybe wasn't up to my par, what I thought should have been perpetuated in the show ring. Or their bodies were beautiful, but didn't have the temperament that I was looking for. And so with her, I'm obsessed with her, but she's a little small. So fingers crossed she'll grow. And if she doesn't, I would like to try to repeat this litter. Nicole in the comments, actually, if Pups would have turned out to be a boy, was supposed to go to her. So I'm trying to get her boy.
And how old is Pups now?
She is 10 months old.
Okay.
Yeah, she just had her first season. So
Okay.
little baby.
Nice.
I'll introduce her to y'all later if y'all want.
Yes. And then Rue, is that what you the name? Rue is 3 years old.
Yes, and she just had her very first litter. I bred her to I don't know if you've ever heard of Christy Green of Knockout Chihuahuas. She's somebody that I super look up to and try to learn a lot from her. She's done an amazing amount of stuff for our breed as well as for like health testing in our breed. And so one of my personal goals moving forward, Chihuahuas are only supposed to have a basic cardiac, eyeballs, and patellas done. And I get that done on all my dogs, and I try to redo them every year.
I saw that.
Yeah. But one of the things that I'm trying to do and trying to learn from Christy and emulate is she does echocardiograms on her Chihuahuas. And she also does hips on them too. And so I've done hips on some of my bred buys that I had in pet homes just to kind of see what was going on with them. They came out cool. So I'm not really worried about it. We don't really have a lot of hip dysplasia in Chihuahuas except for my fucked up Chihuahua, but we don't talk about it. But I bred, this was Rue's first litter, and I bred her to one of the boys that Christy has named Trip. He is a American Best in Specialty Show Grand Champion. He's a champion in Norway, Thailand, and the Philippines. So he has had 2 echocardiograms, and he had his hips done, and has come up normal on patellas and teeth and all of the things that they need to come up normal on. And so she just had that litter. They are 21 weeks today. And I had 4 live birth puppies. No, they were all live birth. There was no stillborns, but, she free whelped for me. And she gave me 4 puppies, and 2 of those I have in pet homes. And then I've kept 2 of them back, and they are vastly different sizes, and I can show you those later as well. I have one that may end up actually going oversized. It's the girl puppy. But when we're dealing with toys, sometimes that's okay. Like we'll keep a girl that's a bit bigger because when they're little, sometimes they don't, you don't really want to put babies in a tiny puppy.
Yeah.
And then Texas is the boy puppy that I kept from the litter. So Betty is like 4.5 pounds already, and Texas is barely scraping 2 pounds. So it is quite a difference.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Chihuahuas like don't really breed true unless you're closely line breeding, and I have not closely line bred. I am doing a lot of outcrossing right now to make sure that I'm getting, things I want and the genetic diversity and the health that I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. So we ended up with 2 giant puppies and 2 itty bitty teeny tiny puppies.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was actually told today that breeding Chihuahuas is very tricky because the breed standard is so small.
Yeah.
And their babies are born so small, and it can be hard to keep them alive. And
yes, it's very
so what do you do to try to combat all that?
Yeah, so I have like a Chihuahua neonatal unit in my bedroom. I have an incubator. I have an oxygen machine. We have warmers. I have all the things. I do progesterone tests, so I know exactly when they're due. And I, work from home. So one of the things that I do is I have a little bed on my desk, and about a week before that, they're due to be due, they stay on my desk. They don't go anywhere. They sleep in my bed the first week that they are alive. I have a big king size bed, and I basically like set up a pen or set up a crate next to me in the bed, and I sleep with my hand like on the mama. I sleep with my hand.
Are you single?
Up until recently, I was. Up until recently, I was.
Where is this other person supposed to sleep?
That is his problem.
Okay.
When we first started dating, I told him, I was like, look, like I love you, but they will always come before you. And so he's cool about it. We first started dating when Rue, he's in the comments right now saying he sleeps at the edge of the bed like a dog. So when we first started dating was right around when Rue's litter was born. And so he actually got to be there for the whelp. A lot of times, so the biggest puppy I have ever had born is 3.5 ounces.
Oh, it's so tiny. Like,
yes. No, they're minuscule. Like I can fit probably 3 newborns in my hand. They look like literal mice. And so I have incubators, I have heating pads, I have all kinds of stuff. I also, I do marketing like for my normal job, but I have a part-time job at my local vet so that I can get discounts on my dogs, but also so that I have access to, after hours care. The ER vet here is on first name basis with me. They know me. I'm in there all the time. My dogs are constantly at the vet getting checkups. But I bottle feed if necessary. I tube feed if necessary. But like those dogs don't leave my sight until they're like 3 weeks old. I'm a helicopter mom. Bad.
That's amazing. Awesome.
It's hard. I haven't lost a puppy yet. And I'm saying yet very specifically because Chihuahuas are known to be a heartbreak breed. So it is something that even the people that have been this for 40 years, they're like, look, you're going to lose them. Things are going to happen. They're incredibly fragile. Knock on wood. I've had some stillborns, but I have not had dead adult puppies yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Grits and Versace, and they're not 2 yet?
No, so Grits will turn 2 in November. She is my first bred by that like has really gone the mile with the show stuff. I reiterate, I am a newer breeder under mentorship, so I'm trying. So she will be my very first champion that I have bred. I've finished 2 that are in my house, and then she and Versace are this close to their championships. And Grits just got her CGC as well, so I need to send that in. But I'm super, super proud of her. She's one of my girls that I bred in house. I had both her mother and her father, completely unrelated. It was an outcross. And I'm super pumped about her. She will not show for me. That's why she's not showing with me. A lot of the times, Chihuahuas can be like really prissy. And they think they deserve the world and that they run the world. And so she won't listen to me. She has a bad case of mommyitis. And so she will only show for somebody else. And so she's with them in Louisiana right now. She shows a lot in Texas. So if you've been around in the Texas rings, she's everywhere. People will come up to me and be like, I don't know you, but I know your dog. So
that's cool.
And then Versace, she just turned, I want to say she turned 1 in February. So she's young too. I don't breed them until after they're 2 or very, very close to it. I was mentored like in big dogs. And so when I first started, I was like, oh my God, younger than 2, disgusting. Mm-hmm. And then I got into Chihuahuas, and people are breeding dogs at like 10 months old. And I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I don't want to verbally like be like, I think that's bad, because there's a lot of people that do have very nice dogs that are Chihuahua ethical that, I wouldn't turn down if they wanted to work together, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So it makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't like that for any dog because, that's still a baby. Yeah, that's like an 11-year-old human child, like having babies in their first period.
Exactly. So there's a lot of just even seeing mine grow up, there's a personality difference. There's a temperament difference. You can see how much more they mature between 2 and 3 years old. And so that is where I prefer.
They're literally like teenagers. Like
they're babies.
Yeah.
Like when I say Chihuahuas are the wild, wild west, like I really mean it. Mm-hmm. I have conversations with, Wildwater and Mosaic Manchesters and other people and stuff, and we'll compare breeding experiences, and they're always quite shocked.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's bad. But
that's funny what you said about like the dogs doing better showing for other people, because it's the same thing with grooming sometimes. Like, I used to have a dog, my dog Mona, she's my heart dog. And she was terrible for me for grooming, for doing her nails. I would have to have my coworkers have to do her nails. Yeah, and then she was fine for them. Like literally was just like, here you go.
I know. And I haven't been in the show ring as much as I used to. I've been sending them out with Riley because my job has gotten a little hectic, and so it's hard for me to get out as much as I used to. I'll be in Gonzales if anybody wants to come see me in Gonzales. I'll have all of the dogs. So I travel with all of them. Anytime I'm going to a show, I will have all the dogs.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't like to leave them ever. They're my companions. Like, that's what they're bred for, you know? They want to be with me, so they go with me.
The Merle one?
Oh yeah, Pip is my little mascot. So he's not he's not supposed to go to the Chihuahua National because you're not supposed to bring dogs that aren't entered, and he's not even like AKC. Like he's neutered for everybody in the comments. I saw y'all earlier getting upset about it. He's neutered. He comes with me. He's like my little mascot. He has this like sequin jumpsuit that he wears, and he goes to all the night things. He comes, like, the president of the Chihuahua Club of America knows him by name. Like, everybody knows he's there and they love him, but he's not supposed to be there.
That's okay. He make an exception for Pip.
Oh, Pip is so well behaved. He's lovely. He's a good boy.
Good. Okay, so let's see. What kind of home should they go to?
I think that depends on the dog. So with there being a lot of inconsistency in Chihuahua litters, sometimes we have Chihuahuas that are more of a couch potato. Sometimes we have Chihuahuas that are super drivey and really lean into that terrier-like side. So I'll use Rue as an example. Rue is super biddable. She is super easy to train. She is fucking lazy. She doesn't want to do anything except be in the bed and be on the couch, and like, she's not into it. Her brother is the number 7 fast cat Chihuahua. Her littermate sister has a B-cat, a trick intermediate. She's got like her fit bronze, a CGC. She does agility, like all of the things. So it really kind of differs. One thing that I prioritize when I'm looking for a home for my puppies is somebody that just wants to take them to do things, like somebody that wants to have a super companion. If you've got, this is hypocritical of me, but like, if you have a lot of dogs, I'm probably not going to place one of mine with you because like, I want my puppies to be the center of your world. And mine are the center of my world, but I know how much work that takes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't really, I don't really do that. But so like Gianna, she's in the comments. She has Casserole from me. And so Casserole is one of my dogs that is like, I just want to be home. I don't really want to go out and do things, but she's crazy. She loves to run around the yard. She got a lot of energy and she loves all the things. But I was like, you're not going to go to an adventure home. You also have to think about size. So if somebody's looking for a Chihuahua that is going to go hiking with them, or, going to go here, going to go there, going to do all the things and agility and, all that stuff, you want a bigger Chihuahua. The ones that are smaller, like Texas, like that's my purse puppy, like he, poor thing, takes, 20 steps and he's tired for hours. And so those just some of the things that you kind of want to think about. They're very adaptable. And so I tell people all the time, I'm like, whatever you teach them to do, they're pretty cool with doing because they're a companion breed. They're supposed to accompany you everywhere. And that's what they do. But it depends on the dog.
Awesome. So do you let people pick which puppy that they're going to get?
No, not at all. Not at all. I actually keep my puppies a very long time, and that irritates people sometimes. The last 2 litters I've had, really all the litters I've had, I've either kept them forever or until they're like a year and a half or 2, or I keep them until 17 weeks because I'm breeding for me. Like I have people that reach out, and I apologize to however many of you have messaged me. There are so many messages and not enough time to get through them. But I breed for me. I'm breeding for my next dog. I'm breeding to improve my program. And I'm very particular on the socialization that they get. I want a dog that's stable. I want a dog that is able to go out and do all of these things. And frankly, I sometimes don't trust that other people can do it the right way. And so I keep them longer. I keep them through their fear period. I put them in my friends' houses. We do like little puppy sleepovers. And I have people that are, are in my area that do rally and do this and do that and are groomers and have their own businesses. And so we'll do puppy swaps where I'm like, hey, do you want to take a puppy for a week? And they'll bring them to the shop with them. They'll go and groom them. They'll, do all the things. And I take them everywhere. A restaurant patio hates to see me coming. Okay. That's all I'm saying. But so I keep my puppies very long. And so that allows me to really understand their temperament. Chihuahuas don't develop at the same rate as a lot of the bigger breeds. So you'll see, like, we don't wean until a lot later. We don't expose them to things a lot later. And so I really want to make sure that they get the exposure to the things that they get. So I wait until they're old, until I really know their temperaments. And then I'm like, this is what you want? Cool. This is your dog.
Awesome.
You don't get to just pick them.
I love that. Yeah, you see a lot of Chihuahuas going home at like 8 weeks old, and that's probably a
Over
big
my dead body.
why like so many of them have like the fear that they have and the ankle biterness that they have for that reason.
Over my dead body. That is not happening.
So what kind of other socialization do you do? Do you follow puppy culture or something like that?
Yeah, so I follow puppy culture protocol, a little modified timeline wise, because like I said, they develop a lot later. So typically they're anywhere from like a week to 2 weeks behind the typical puppy culture playbook. But we still go through all of them. And then for me and my breeding program, I am very particular about the interaction with strangers. And so I don't, kind of allow people to just rush up on them. I'm very protective of them. I'm a mama bear. I will bite you. Okay. Like I will fight you. And so, but we take them out like in strollers and stuff. And I get them out pretty frequently. So because they're little, right, you don't have to worry as much about the vaccination timelines as you would like a Great Dane puppy that has to be on the ground. So I start taking mine out at about 6 weeks old. And so we'll start going to different places around 6 weeks. And then we do that through, 16 to 18 weeks.
Cool. I guess you probably, you don't know what the longevity of your dogs is yet because you're still a bit newer.
Not yet.
Very, very long.
I hope so.
You mentioned the different kinds of health testing that you do and that you want to do. What kind of health issues do they face?
So patellas are a really big issue for us. And so far, all of the puppies I've bred have come back 0-0, thank God. Some of them are still too young. I have placed dogs before that I was hoping to be, hopefuls for me that didn't pass their patellas. I'm a kind of a stickler for patellas because Pip's experience with them. Teeth are something we struggle with. And so we'll get a lot of, teeth that fall out. Bad bites are super common in puppies that come. I've bred bad bites. It is unfortunately something that happens. And I called my mentors freaking out, being like, I ruined this puppy. They're like, it's fine. It's okay. It happens.
Yeah.
Just don't repeat it. I'm like, I won't ever. Heart issues are something that we are starting to see become an issue. And a lot of that actually is connected to teeth. So like the plaque that builds up, if your teeth are bad and nasty, the plaque that is building up in your bloodstream can affect your heart too. And so echocardiograms are not even recommended by our parent club, but is something that some people are starting to do and that I am trying to start implementing. There is a echo clinic in Gonzales, and so I want to take some of them to the echo clinic. But those are like the three big ones. If you Google issues with Chihuahua puppies, a lot of the times you'll see hydrocephalus come up. And so that Chihuahua, veterinarians that you take your Chihuahuas to will sometimes make a fuss about hydrocephalus because Chihuahuas a lot of the times have an open fontanel. And so that's the soft spot on the top of your skull that like human babies are born with and most puppies and stuff are born with. In a lot of other breeds, it closes up naturally. In Chihuahuas, it does not always close up. So they may have an open fontanel for the rest of their lives. And there is not an actual connection between an open fontanel and hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus does happen in our breed, but it is not like a direct correlation. weirdly enough, way back when in the day, an open fontanel was considered to be a hallmark of a purebred Chihuahua. So you had to have an open fontanel to be considered a purebred Chihuahua.
That's crazy.
Yes. So we've done away with that, of course. But that's been the foundation of our breed. So trying to breed away from an open fontanel is going to take some time and effort. I want to say about 65% of my dogs have an open fontanel and some of them don't. So
can you explain what hydrocephalus is?
Fluid on the brain, water on the brain. So it's like a issue with the cerebral spinal fluid draining. And so that can be fixed surgically with a shunt, or, sometimes they'll develop a natural shunt. Sometimes Chihuahuas that have hydrocephalus can live. They don't live very long, about 5 or 6 years. And then, or they pass away. So it kind of just depends. So Gravy, I have a special needs puppy, Gravy. Everybody is very familiar with Gravy. We had a very hard birth with his labor. And so I had to revive him, and it took quite a long time to revive him. And so he had a little bit of oxygen deprivation. So he's my special baby. He's dumber than a box of rocks, but we love him. And so when he was younger, before I started kind of, working with my vet and realizing why he looked so stupid and why he was acting so stupid, we were concerned about hydrocephalus. So we shaved his head. I did ultrasounds of his brain. We did an ungodly amount of testing on this poor tiny little puppy. He doesn't have hydrocephalus. He just looks like that. But that is something that is one of the first things we go to when we're thinking about an issue with itty bitty Chihuahua puppies.
Can you tell when a dog has hydrocephalus from looking at them from the outside at all? Because I've seen people say that, oh, that dog looks like it has hydrocephalus.
So because it's a buildup of cerebral spinal fluid, it's a lot of pressure in the brain. So the eyeballs can get a little bulgier, and sometimes their head will get a little bit bulgier. And so that way you'll kind of see it a lot. They get a little cross-eyed sometimes because of the pressure behind their eyes, but not all the time you can tell. It really just depends on how bad it is. So if they have a natural shunt, you wouldn't see a lot of the signs because it's being drained somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. And then you had mentioned some of your puppy's siblings do sports. Do any of your dogs do sports?
Yes, but they're not good at it. So we go to fast cat events all the time. But a lot of the times we just show up and park and hang out and talk to people.
Yeah.
Sookie's done fast cat, but she is 3.9 pounds of pure fury. And so she gets about halfway and then she gets tired. And so we try. I have a fast cat machine actually at my house. I've got a Swift Paws. And so we play with him here. It's like Pip before he turned into a dumpster fire. He did fast cat for me all the time. He ran 12 miles an hour. He was so fast. So fast.
Yeah,
he ran 12 miles an hour. Versace will go about halfway before she gets tired. She's also little. She's about 3.8 pounds right now. I don't think Grits has tried it yet. You can't do it before they're 1, so a lot of the ones that haven't done it. Sam has done it. He's a couch potato. He thinks it's dumb. Rue is a couch potato. She thinks it's dumb. Taffy, who I have here, she thinks it's cool. She's into it, but she's only tried it once. So we're testing out the waters here.
Yeah.
Fast cat is really the first thing I've kind of done. I like to play around with CGCs and trick novices. So Sookie was the first one that I did it with. She's got her CGC advanced and her trick novice. She's got her AKC temperament title. A lot of the companion stuff I enjoy doing more.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy training. Something like rally, I've dabbled in a training class. One of my best friends loves rally. Northgate Tollers, if you know her, she's my homie. She hasn't bred a litter yet, but she's got some tollers and stuff. She's got a toller from Wild, and I babysit them all the time. And those dogs are so incredibly smart, and Lauren is so good at teaching them all of the things. I breed Chihuahuas for a reason, okay? I don't want a dog that is smarter than me. I want you to just be a good buddy. Like, let's go hiking. Let's go sit on the couch, Like, let's go to Fast Cat and lick children in the face, like, that's fun. And so like I sort of dabble in it, but that's about it. My breeding decisions, I do pick with more of that in mind. And so for Grits, there's actually a male that I'm interested in that a friend of mine owns, that we haven't discussed any breeding with her just yet because she's still too young. She hasn't, finished passing any of her health testing. She's done her eyeballs. Her eyeballs are good. But he has it's a long coat male. He's a champion. He has a Rally Excellent. And so I'm really excited to try to get some more of the smarts in because I know people like it. People want to do it. So her dogs have actually started competing in obedience. My puppy that I bred, Poppy, the very first one that I ever bred, she is in a pet home in Canada, and she does Fast Cat. She does obedience classes and stuff, but nobody out of my dogs competes that way.
Nice. What about your male dog, Sam?
Yeah, Sam.
Has he sired any litters?
Yes, so he has had 2 litters. He is Grit's sire. So we did that, and then he is the sire of my little singleton girl, Pups. So he's only had 2 litters. He's just started. I co-own him with his breeder who lives in New York. And so he may end up going, to have some litters with her in a year or 2. We need to figure out what she wants out of him. But everybody fucking loves him. We call him Spamantha. His name is Spamantha. He is the sweetest, but the dumbest baby I've ever met in my life. He is just the epitome of him, bro. He loves everyone. He's just here for a good time. Honestly, he just hangs out. He loves Beaucerons also, weirdly enough. Big fan of Beaucerons. Big fan of kids. Loves children. People are always don't put your kids around Chihuahuas. I'm for some reason, my Chihuahuas, minus Suki, love kids. Suki's my problem child.
Aww.
But yeah, no, Sam's great. I finished him in 3 or 4 weekends, I want to say. We went to the National with him in 2024, and he was runner-up to reserve winners at the National. So that was exciting. We sat there and did the little thing back and forth and gated back and forth and stared at each other for an ungodly amount of time for them to pick reserve winners. And so I was super proud of him for losing. So proud of that dog. He was great. He was my first champion.
Aww, nice.
Suki was supposed to be my first champion, but she had to be spayed. So he was my first champion.
Yeah. And how much do you sell your puppies for?
So it's kind of a range. It really depends. I think the range that I have on my website, I want to say, is from 4 to 4.5. The most recent litter was 4.5. But I have also placed puppies on payment plans. I have placed puppies for the cost of their spay and neuter for somebody that, really waited a long time and really, showed a lot of initiative and things like that. I've placed puppies for, I think my last litter before this was $3,500. Chihuahuas are expensive.
Yeah.
Breeding Chihuahuas are expensive. I have yet to make a profit. I am lucky to break even within $100 or $200.
Yeah.
I'm in the vet all the time. I do all the vaccines. I do all the exams. I do, God forbid they stub their toe. I'm in there here, come look at my Chihuahua, please. And then I do health testing. I do the shows. I pay to go to Fast Cats and don't even compete. I'm just there to have a good time with them, So it kind of ranges. But right now, the kind of easy medium that I've found is about $4,500, and I'm still cheaper than a lot of the backyard breeders. So a lot of the people that I'm seeing right now, especially if they have like fun, fancy colors, they're selling Chihuahua puppies for $5,500 to $6,000, and I just don't think that's attainable. I want people to be able to have access to my dogs. I want people to be able to have a good representation of a Chihuahua without, me going broke, of course, but like, I'll work with you. My last litter that I just had, one just went off on a payment plan. So, yeah.
I mean, the crazy thing is that people are paying that for those backyard bred puppies, or else they wouldn't be charging it. So,
they're paying it.
Yeah, I don't understand how, like, where people are getting that money in this fucking economy. It's crazy.
Tell me about it. I swear. I try so hard, like litter. So I just had this litter, right? The two puppies just went home. I don't have any money from this litter. I don't. I'm like in the hole $3,000. Yeah. It's like I try, but I don't. It's what it is.
What are your contracts like? You said that you do co-owns. Yeah. I'm assuming you do breeding rights for certain people, because you said that you had some hopefuls and stuff.
So I do not let any puppy go home on like solo papers. I co-own every puppy that I have produced. And I do that, and I give them two options. I can stay on the puppy's papers for the entirety of their life, because that makes it easier. God forbid they go to a shelter, I have proof of ownership. I can pull a dog, and I stay on the microchip forever. But I do give the option when they give me a physical proof of spay and neuter, that I will come off if that's something that they are cool about. So far, everybody's asked me to stay on, which is my preferred. And so nobody at all has solo access to anybody's reproductive organs. For my co-own contract, pull it up. Hold on. I'll show it to you. For my co-own contract, I do stay on for the entirety of the puppy's life, as long as it is intact. They are not allowed to breed anything without my written permission. They have to be over 2. They have to have all of their health testing done. Like I said, I would love to work with them and be like, this is your dog's structural faults or not. And you're trying to breed it to something that also has the same fault. Let's not do that, So I try to kind of help and be a mentor there in that aspect. But like I said, I'm brand new. I'm doing outcrosses. I have no way of guaranteeing exactly what your dog will or will not produce. So if somebody comes to me for like breeder mentorship, I point them in the direction of one of my mentors. If somebody is looking to come to me just to have a dog to do confirmation with, cool. That's fantastic. And if they turn out great and, somebody thinks later on that might be something they choose to do, I do leave the door open with the stipulations. I do have a 6-page contract. I'm kind of crazy, and I do have stipulations in there. If they get bred without permission, I will repossess your dog, or you will owe me $15,000. And you are required to spay abort it, or I will repossess your dog.
Good. I love that.
I'm a little intense about it. And if you've got a problem with it, don't buy one of my dogs. Go to the backyard breeders. I don't care. But those are things that I have in there. I'm trying to figure out where the hell I literally have my contract. There it is. Yeah. What does it say? Okay. Yeah, breeder will remain on the registration as a co-owner until such time as written proof of spay or neuter is provided, or until the terms of this agreement have been fulfilled or terminated by the agreement of all parties. And so I do say in here that I don't give a specific time frame for spaying or neutering, but I highly recommend waiting until after 1 to 2 years of age for, proper physical and emotional development. There was a study that came out that I can't remember who published it, but that showed the ages and per breed on when the proper times were. And so they said about 6 months wouldn't have any issues with Chihuahuas. Like we said earlier, I see a difference. I see a difference when they've had a few seasons. I see a difference when they're allowed to have the testosterone for, 1 to 2 years. And so I prefer to have them wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, my contract. I'll send you a copy of it later if you want it. I don't really care. Yeah, if the dog in question is bred without breeder's permission, accidentally or on purpose, there is a financial penalty of $10,000 in addition to a $500 fee per puppy produced.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that. Do or would you sell litter mates together?
So this is a little bit of a hypocritical question because would I sell litter mates together? No. Do I keep litter mates? Yes. So like I said, I was like, I want my puppies to be the center of somebody's world. I want them to focus all of their time on this one puppy. So I'm not going to sell somebody litter mates. I do think Chihuahua puppies grow up better when they have other younger dogs to play with. And so I do personally like having puppies at the same time, typically 1 to 2. But like, no, I'm not selling you litter mates. I don't care how much money you give me. That's dumb.
Yeah. Can you think of any difficult choices you have had to make that others might not agree with as a breeder?
Well, I don't know if it's not that others might not agree with. The most difficult decision I had to make was in the very beginning of my breeding program. So Suki was my very first show dog. I fucking love that dog. She is the epitome of just a spicy little saucy bitch. She thinks she's the coolest thing ever. She had a daughter. And Suki's very small, so I never wanted to breed her again. And she was going to be my first champion. She's got all these companion titles, all the yada, yada, yada. She likes to swim. What Chihuahua likes to swim, She likes to do all the things. Well, she pioed. And so I had to spay her. And, from the moment it was like that. 3.
Dang.
She was 3 when she pioed.
That's young.
Yeah, it was very unexpected. It was very unexpected. And it was awful. Like she had a perforation in her uterus. She was septic for 3 days. Like it was bad. But as soon as I found out, I was like, yank it.
Yeah.
Get it out of there. Knowing that ends our show career. That ends all of my hopes and my dreams I had for her. It ends.
Well, so does her passing away from Pio.
Well, exactly. Exactly. Well, I say that because there's a lot of people on the reproductive forums who are like, well, you could treat it with antibiotics. I'm like, you're fucking stupid. No, take it out.
Yeah.
And so I had to spay her. Well, the difficult decision comes with her daughter. She had a daughter who structurally was much better than her. She was 6 pounds, I think, or maybe 6.2 once she fully hit maturity later. But she was a bigger girl. She wasn't little. She loved to adventure. She loved to swim. She loved to do all the things. She was like my little homie. But I didn't like her temperament. I thought she was too sharp. I didn't think she was confident enough. And it was not the cornerstone of which I wanted to develop a program on. She thought men sucked, which they do, but you don't want that if you're breeding a dog, right? So I made the decision to spay her, knowing that ended my chance of ever having anything off of my baby. So that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but breeding wise, that was one of the hardest decisions I had to make, was purposefully choosing to end my girl's line. So Kelpie is her half sister, so maybe we could do something here.
Yeah.
But that was really hard for me, and that was in Chihuahuas. They were like, "That's stupid. Keep her. Just breed her to something that's more friendly." And I was like, "No, I don't want to."
Yeah.
And so there was some disagreement there with some other people that I no longer talk to, but they wanted me to keep her and breed her, and I said no. So that was really hard.
Well, good for you for going with your gut and knowing what you want. You know what I mean? I feel like that's so honorable.
Thank you. It was really hard. She's my one that lives in Canada. She's up there doing Canadian fast cat. I think it's called sprinters or something. She does she does obedience. She does all the things. She still thinks men fucking suck. She's a hoot.
Love it.
8.5, but.
Okay. If someone's looking for an ethical breeder, what do you recommend?
So the Chihuahua Club of America does not have a breeder directory. We don't have one. We don't publish anybody's names on there. Because like I said earlier, Chihuahuas are the wild, wild west. Even the ethicalist ones that have been doing this for 60 something years don't health test. So we don't have a list. What I recommend doing is I recommend going to a show. And you're going to want to see people that are there, walking their Chihuahuas around. And I don't mean putting them in the ring and putting them back in a trolley and like covering them with a blanket. Like, talk to them, touch the dog, say hello to the dog, see if, they're able to walk on a leash through the show venue and are confident and aren't scared. So like, my boyfriend makes fun of me all the time because we'll be at a show and I look like Oprah handing out free cars because I'm like, you get a Chihuahua and you get a Chihuahua and you get a Chihuahua. Like, I'm like meet the dog, because a lot of people will show you some very pretty pictures, but they're like rabid little beasts behind the scenes. So meet the dog, understand what's going on with there, ask for health testing. And I don't just mean you went to your vet, like actually get a patella rating, actually get, a basic cardiac on something. You can get it done at your vet. The only thing that requires a specialist for Chihuahuas is an ophthalmologist. It's the eye exam. So it's not hard. Get the proof. That's what you need. And so that's kind of what I recommend. I recommend meeting them. That's why I take all of mine everywhere. Like, you want to meet my dog? Cool. I'm going to be here. Come on. I'll teach you. I'll invite the whole family, so that's what I recommend, is going to a show. I wouldn't recommend purchasing sight unseen. I wouldn't recommend, I can't say that. Like, you've bought a puppy sight unseen, but like meet the parents, try to do something, go and meet everybody. Mm-hmm. So that's what I recommend. But yeah, no, people don't health test. There was actually a stud that I wanted to use, who beautiful grand champion, had this like crazy pedigree that I was trying to get my hands on. And I, approached as a older woman who I've shown with for a few years now. And I approached her, about, using him. And I asked her, what his health testing was. And she said, "Oh, I don't do that." Hello? So I offered to take the dog. I paid to get his health testing done. I brought him to the vet. I did all the stuff. I did not end up, using him. Yeah. But I took him in. I paid for all the stuff because I was like, they're not going to do it. Yeah. Some of the dogs that are in the top 20 have never been health tested a day in their life.
And what's funny too is somebody reached out to me the other day and looking for a Chihuahua breeder, and I gave them your website and I gave them another one too. She said the person that she's dealing with right now does all the health testing, she shows, but she has no contract. And she's like, I found that so weird. Is that a red flag? I was like, yes, that is so fucking weird. Like, why would they not have a contract? Like, that's so important. I don't understand. Like, the breeder said that she would write one up for me, especially, but she's like, usually people don't ask her that. I'm like, even backyard breeders have contracts.
Yeah, Chihuahuas are the wild, wild west. I'm telling you. I have a contract. Of all of the dogs I have added to my house, I have signed a contract on one.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
It is. It really is. It's insane. It's insane. I'm trying to be the change, Yeah. We're trying to do the thing. This last national we had was the first national that we had a health clinic at.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're trying.
Yeah. Alrighty. We can open up the chat for questions in the chat. And start the poll. Is this an ethical breeder or not? 40K likes, guys. Thank you so much. Yes. Can we see the dogs? Let's see the dogs now.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay.
We'll do the dogs and chat questions at the same time.
Okay. So I have a building that is like 5 feet from the back of my house. Most of the dogs stay in my house during the day, but like I have 13 Chihuahuas. I'll get along. I refuse to exist in a life where I have to do crate and rotate outside of like breeding season. So Sam is the only one that gets a little testy when there are girls in season, but outside of girls in season, he's a good boy.
Gotcha.
I'll bring you in there where it's bright. They're all running around the backyard right now.
Okay.
It's like a herd of chickens. We call the kennel the hen house because my boyfriend's like, every time you walk around, it looks like you're being followed by a flock of chickens.
Be sure to vote in the poll, guys. If it's an ethical breeder or not.
Okay, how do I turn this around? So, say
There we go.
hi,
Oh my gosh!
Oh, and then Scooby. Oh goodness, come here.
I hear the
So
scream.
this is, he got squished. So this is baby Texas. Say hi, baby Texas.
Oh!
Okay, so how do I turn this around? Here we go. Say hi, everybody. Okay, so that's baby Texas. As you can see, he is small. So
Yes.
hush. So I have girls that like to escape pens. So these are my 2 crates that they sleep in for my escape artists. That's
Okay.
I'm looking at you, Versace and Taffy. They're litter box trays.
You're losing service a
So
little bit.
they always have access to go to like a potty or whatever. Oh no.
Yeah, try to like back
Okay, what
up,
about
like
can you hear me now?
yeah.
I'm backing up closer to my thing.
Yeah.
This is Scooby.
Oh, hi Scooby.
So as you can see, he went to go and like lay down already. Pip. So they have like little pens and stuff that they'll sleep in at night. During the day, they're in the house with me, and they hang out and, are running around on my couch and stuff like that. And then I feed them separately. So they each have their own crate to eat in.
Wow.
And they have these like tiny little buckets and like a little food bowl or whatever. See, look, they've been outside all day, but they're peeing in the litter box.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, so it's really convenient. I live in an area where we have a lot of hurricanes and stuff, and we have tornadoes and things like this. So this is what I use as like my tornado bunker.
Yeah.
And so that's why I have them set up out here for like nighttime.
Yeah.
I think who sleeps? Kelpie sleeps in the bed. Pip sleeps in the bed. Rue sleeps in the bed. So like most of them sleep in the bed. But when they're babies, I don't trust them not to pee on me in the middle of the night. So they sleep in a pen.
Yeah.
And they, like they eat separately and all that stuff. But I have this building for like when people want to come over and meet the dogs. This is so you don't have to be up in my house.
Yeah.
They get to stay in here and hang out and things like that. But I have it. That's what, yeah. So,
Yeah, that's a very nice setup you have there.
yeah, and I do like boyfriend plays Xbox and like hangs out with the Chihuahuas while I like groom them or something. And
Yeah.
Gravy, come here, Gravy, come here.
Oh yeah, everybody definitely wants to see Gravy. That's a special one, right? Oh, he's so sweet.
Oh, he's dumb as a box of rocks. We love him so much. He just got neutered like 6 months ago.
Yay!
And then this is Sookie. Come here, baby. Come here. Oh, there we go. This is Sookie.
Hi, Lucky.
So she is my first one. She is a bitch. We love her.
So what are their grooming needs for the long-haired ones?
Yeah. So the long ones I do, girls. So the long ones I do like a full groom once a month, and then I bathe. I get real grossed out by dogs, so I bathe everybody every other week. The smooths really don't need anything at all.
Yeah.
You just bathe her, and
Yeah.
they're fine. But they love Scoobert. Scooby.
What a good boy.
But yeah. So that's baby Texas and Gravy, and then this is Texas's litter sister.
Oh, so
like
big,
the size,
right?
The size difference is
that's
quite a
crazy.
lot. Yeah, but it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Come here. Who's next? Hi. And this is Pups.
Oh, hi, Pups. I love Pups.
So say her mom's a champion, her dad's a champion, all the health tests, all the things.
Yay! She's gonna be a champion.
Say we might. I'm letting my boyfriend show this one. He
Cool.
decided that he's like super into the show stuff and he wants to do it. And so she was supposed to be my next like little show baby, but he has decided that it's actually his show baby. So he gets to show her. He took her from me.
Okay, poll results are in. We got 95.16% yes, ethical breeder. With a total of 62 votes, we got 4.84% no. There was 3 people that said no out of 62 people. So
They are more than welcome to come to my house and meet my dogs and see all the things, and I am happy to do that.
I mean,
Come here.
crazy.
Caitlin requested to see Rue. She babysits Rue all the time.
Aw,
So
hi,
this is the mother of my most recent litter.
Yes, they are wrong. Yes.
Hi. But look. Oh my God! Here's the good size difference between the litter mates. Can you see this?
So crazy.
But yeah, Betty and Texas.
Someone asked, do Chihuahuas always spar? I know they spar and terriers spar, but not sure if that's at every show.
You typically only see it at a specialty.
What
a
does
lot
that
of the
mean?
So sparring is something that terriers do. You're supposed to own the ground you walk on. You're supposed to be confident. You're supposed to kind of like, be a little bit of a bitch. So in the ring, they will walk and face them off against each other just to kind of see them like bow up and like get a little confident. Basically, it's like shit talking. It's not fighting. Don't ever think it's fighting. Pip hates puppies, so I'm gonna pick him up. It's not fighting. You're not allowed to fight whatsoever. Like if they actually get snappy, everybody's like, ooh, like put your dog up, So basically, we want to see them talk shit. We want to see them kind of posture.
That's so funny. I have to see that next time I'm at a show.
Their swagger. So this is Pip.
I'm going to a show next weekend.
Oh, good. Where are you going?
South Florida, Fort Myers.
Oh, that'll be fun. Where are you located?
South Florida.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
I went to the Orlando show in 2022, but I haven't been to Florida since then.
Nice.
But he just laid.
That was my first show ever.
That's really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my first show ever.
Big show to be your first one.
I know. I got spoiled, so now like it's gonna be nothing else is gonna live up to.
I wanted to show you some of those things I was talking about and the comments about how Pip is fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could see his legs. He has no angulation. And his croup is really bad. And then if he stands, like this is actually his legs look good right now. Typically they're like out here. Him's a good boy. One of my friends just messaged me and said, take a shot for every time somebody says Applehead versus Deerhead Chihuahua.
Oh yeah,
so
we should talk about that.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with that? That's just a backyard breeder marketing thing, right?
Yeah, marketing term. Chihuahua's standard from the inception of Chihuahuas has always called for an apple domed skull. And so that doesn't have anything to do with muzzle length. Muzzle length does not mean applehead or deerhead. So deerhead is a term that people started using when they started breeding dogs that didn't look like Chihuahuas. And so it's really just a marketing gimmick. Some people will consider a dog to be like a quote unquote deerhead if the muzzle is a lot longer or more like coarse. But it really only talks about the dome. Like even Pip is like he has a domed skull. It's a little flatter here.
Mm-hmm.
Where is, I don't know, I can't tell if I'm like editing this right, or if it's turning off. But like even the more plain ones, like Texas, come here, Bubby, come here. So like Texas has a really domed skull.
Yeah.
Gravy has an apple dome. Like they're all very domed. It's very round. Let me see if I can get Suki. Hey, look at the camera. See how it's round on top?
Yeah.
So that's what they're talking about when it comes to domed. Betty here is plainer. She is not, she may not show. She's going to be more of a broodier girl, but even she has the proper domed skull. Do you see?
Yeah, I can see
and some people would consider her to be quote unquote deerhead if they were to like try to sell her for some reason.
Yeah.
Because she's got a longer muzzle and she's a little plainer. Everything about her is correct to the standard.
Yeah.
Her structure is beautiful. She's just not as fancy. is the
Okay.
term they tend to use in the show ring. She has a lot to offer structurally and temperamentally to the breed, so I'm super excited about her. But say,
Yeah.
she say, I'm gonna be a big girl. I might get a little too big.
She's so cute. What is the size?
6 pounds or
6
under.
pounds or under.
So in the standard that was put into effect in, I want to say 1940s, used to say 2 to 6 pounds, the more diminutive preferred. Nowadays, and back then they didn't have a like a DQ for size. Nowadays it's 6 pounds or under with a disqualification for 6 or over. A lot of ethical breeders are still going to be breeding girls who are 6, 7 pounds because sometimes it's safer. And they can still breed puppies or still, make puppies that are within size. So like Rue, she is 4.5 pounds. Her grandma was like 10 pounds.
Wow.
Her brother's big. And her son is not even 2 pounds. So like it kind of differs. But
Yeah.
they do it.
All right.
Oh my God.
Any more questions in the chat?
Say hi. This is Taffy. She came from Christy Green. We co-own her. Christy's that girl who I was telling you about, who does the echoes and things like that. Her uncle was like the #1 Chihuahua forever. He won the national twice. They're spectacular. I love them so much. These are the joys of my life. I do everything I do for these dogs.
They're so cute.
I got 2 jobs for these dogs.
Yeah. And breeding them is not one of them.
No. Breeding them is a very time-consuming and money-draining hobby.
Yeah.
Pip. So Pip doesn't like puppies, but somehow he always ends up shoving himself into the puppies.
Someone's asking, do you brush their teeth?
I'm sorry, repeat yourself, please.
It's okay. Do you brush their teeth?
Yes. I do it when I like brush them. So I have a board. I'm trying not to get too far away from the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But I have a board over here that I like track when everybody's due for stuff and who's doing what. So like every Tuesday, every Tuesday I brush everybody. Their like fur, and I do their nails, and I brush their teeth.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those little dogs.
A lot of dogs. I try to keep them, on track.
Yeah. They need their teeth done. Yeah. Dentals for small dogs is expensive and preventative care is crucial. Correct.
100%. I try to do a dental every other year on everybody. Barring like if somebody's due for one and they're pregnant, I'm not going to do them. I'll do them after they've had their babies, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once a week is better than most, unfortunately, but
I would brush my dog's teeth, Omelet. Because I get him, like I have like a mobile dentist that comes to the house and does it with like
Nice.
without anesthesia.
yeah. Oh, I have one of those.
Yeah, but he's getting like really, saucy for them.
I have an ultrasonic scaler. That is typically what they're using when they're doing the non-sedated dentals. And I do it, under the direction of my vet. And I do that like every other month, something like that, just to kind of keep stuff down. And then they do a full sedated dental every other year. This is Sam.
I'm gonna get one. Oh, hello, Sam.
Hi, Sammy.
Hi, Sam. Oh, he's a happy boy. Farm.
But yeah, my Merle Chihuahua is my little backyard bred pet.
And yes, Merle is a recognized color in Chihuahua in AKC in America.
Yeah, we have a lot of finished champion Merles. A lot, actually.
You said that they come in every color pretty much, right? Is there any colors that they can't be?
Nope. Any color, solid, marked, or splashed. They're allowed to be in every color. We have brindle, we have merle, we have blue, we have chocolate, we have red, black, white. I mean, we have fucking everything. Anything and everything under the sun is acceptable.
Awesome.
Somebody else was talking about the dental stuff in the chat. I was like, I also use perio powder that I get from my vet on their food twice a day. And then I have Vetradent that I put in their water too. So in addition to like brushing once a week. I know brushing once a week is not enough. I don't know, kill me. It's fine. But
Wow. I'm gonna have to get that.
the perio powder. I think they did a rebrand and like changed the name of it, but perio powder is what it was called when I first started using it. So that's what I keep calling it. But I get it from my vet.
Okay. You have to get it from the vet?
I don't think you have to. That's just where I buy mine.
Okay. Okay, is there any more questions in the chat, guys? Last call for questions in the chat. The liquid is really effective by dogs that don't like it wanting the water. I use the Tropiclean one. It's just the water additive from Tropiclean.
Yeah.
Someone asked about crooked teeth. Does the standard allow for crooked teeth?
No, the standard does not allow for crooked teeth. We're supposed to have a scissors or level bite, and any distortion of the jaw is a serious fault. It's not a disqualification, but it is a serious fault. But we are allowed to have a missing incisor or two. And that's the teeth up front. And that's because we, struggle sometimes with teeth. We have very, very tiny mouths. And so there's a lot of crowding sometimes that can happen. And so there's a lot of us, like I personally am trying to breed for better teeth. We call them like baby teeth versus big dog teeth. And if you open a dog's mouth, you can see whether they have like really nice, strong teeth or not. And so that's something I look for when I'm choosing a male for one of my girls. But we are allowed to have a few missing up front. We're not allowed to have crooked teeth.
Do you want to breed away from Malera?
Yeah, so the Malera is the open fontanel we were talking about earlier. I would like to breed away from it. I have dogs here that don't have them. But currently, right now, there are other problems in the breed that I am focusing more on than the Malera.
Do you accept applications when you don't have any expecting moms?
I have been accidentally, yes. So I didn't realize my applications were still open and available. So I have had an ungodly amount of them. And I apologize to all of you that I have not had the time to reach out to. One day, I promise I will be good and I will get back to all of you. One day I will. So you are more than welcome to send one in, but do not be offended if it takes me a very long time to get back to you. I typically don't really look at them until I'm expecting a litter. But you can send one in. You can come see me.
What is Malera?
So the Malera is that open fontanel, the opening, the soft spot in the skull.
Okay.
It's just the colloquial term for it.
Okay. What's she looking for when looking for a home for her puppy? I think we kind of talked about that already. Yes, it's a responsible breeder. All right. I think that we kind of covered pretty much everything. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to talk about?
Not really, other than just the fact that Chihuahuas are not bad dogs. Chihuahuas are not mean. They're not evil. They are fantastic. They're a companion for a reason. They are a dog that should be well bred. They're a dog that should be able to move cleanly and efficiently. They're a dog that should be able to have, good teeth and good patellas for forever. And if you just give them a chance, especially a well bred one, you will be incredibly surprised to see how much you can like them. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Of course. I will talk to you soon. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye.
And that wraps up another incredible episode of So You Think You Can Breed Dogs. A massive thank you to Ashley from @Wally_Farms on TikTok for sharing her passion and showing us the true sweet natures of Chihuahuas. If you loved this episode, please take a quick second to support the show. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and hit the thumbs up. New episodes drop on YouTube and Spotify every Friday morning. Be sure to follow the show and drop your thoughts. Your engagement helps us bring you more amazing guests every single week. You want to catch the action as it happens? You can join Jess live on TikTok every single week for raw, unedited breeder interviews. Follow Jess at JessShark7 with 3 S's on TikTok and hang out with us live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep breeding responsibly, and we will see you in the next episode.